Good morning, Bill. It's Jeff the Garage Guy. Just checking out your email here. Looking at these different toolboxes, I'll just go through and give you my opinion on everything. I think it's a nice looking toolbox. Honestly, with this situation, I don't like the way it's going to kind of mess up your back wall design. I think the back wall design is pretty cool. If you break it up with a toolbox to make a place for it, yeah, I'm not a big fan. Especially if you slide it in sideways to work with the casters like that. I think it's going to look kind of choppy, in my opinion, to have it tuck in on the left side of the wall and move the sink over. And I'm not sure you can answer this for me. Doesn't the plumbing for the sink come out of the left wall? And wouldn't that require that the sink has to be all the way against the left wall? Just a question. I'm not sure what the answer to that is. Maybe you can get back with me on that. I like this toolbox. Now, if we made the counter high enough to accommodate this toolbox, it doesn't really fit in the space well. And the counter is getting quite high if you actually want to work on it. By the time we put the toolbox or the countertop over this size toolbox, we're actually going to be taller than a bar height table, which is fine to lean against and stand against and maybe have a beer. I'm not sure it's ideal to actually work on something unless it's rather small. Then it would be fine to work on it. But if it's anything big, then I think it might be kind of high up to be, turning your wrenches on it, in my opinion. It is closer, and yeah, I think we probably have the room to get the countertop over that. And maybe even if we switch the casters around, we might be able to make it so it pulls straight out, possibly. It's just an idea I'm throwing out there. If you were to go with a toolbox like this, I'd just as soon see it floating in front of the cabinet system as an island, if you will. Kind of a spot where you grab your tools from your drawers, you set them on there, and they're within reach of the car you're working on. So that's my opinion there. I do think what we were talking about before with the whole custom built one that slides in there real nice and has drawers coming out of the front side and all that, I think it would be a kind of an unwieldy beast. Be pretty heavy, but it would also be pretty awesome in my opinion. I'm kind of on the fence on whether or not that would make sense to do the custom built-in one that we talked about before. I wouldn't push it either way. It would turn out awesome, but I know it would be a lot more expensive than this toolbox here. So if you want, like I said, if you want the toolbox like this, I'm thinking island. Let's go to the drawings for a minute. Alright, a refrigerator. You mentioned maybe moving the refrigerator. I assume you meant up into a wall cabinet. It's possible you meant into this big cabinet here, but I'm assuming at this point you meant into a wall cabinet. The wall cabinets are 16 inches deep. And if you want it to be behind a door, you're looking at probably a 21, 22 inch deep cabinet. And then in order for the refrigerator to breathe, we're going to have to drill some holes in places that will be a lot more visible up here than they are down here. All of this is doable. My biggest beef with putting the refrigerator up in a wall cabinet is you won't be able to reach the freezer without a ladder, I don't think. I think most of these top shelves are going to be step ladder kind of situations with most of these cabinets. You might be able to reach them, but it's going to be a stretch. Another issue with the refrigerator is it's going to defrost, leak water. I can accommodate that and let it leak out without causing damage down here. I don't know if it would be so easy to allow it to defrost, or if it gets unplugged or the power goes out, not to create damage on the bottom of this cabinet and still have a cabinet that looks like the rest and be waterproof. Back to the toolbox for a minute. If you go with a toolbox like this, I vote for black for one reason, only because we can't get our hands on the toolbox in front of us to compare to the laminate unless you buy the toolbox. I doubt we're going to get lucky enough that these two blues are the exact same blue. If they're slightly off from each other, that might not look that great, and that's if you go with blue cabinets. Let me know what you think. Oh, the cubbies. That's what I want to talk about next. This is how I'm doing my cabinets in my new shop. I'm going to put the dividers in. I showed you those or talked about those, how you got dividers you can take in or take out. I'm going to make sure the divider spacing is friendly with these bins. So you'll be able to put the bins in the drawers and they'll be all held and organized by these dividers. I have a lot of drawers with cubbies built into them, and you got to kind of reach your fingers in there and try to get stuff out. I find it much easier to be able to grab the plastic bin. It's less work, less money. I think, in my opinion, it's the way to go. So that's what I have for now. Let me know if you agree or disagree with my concept on just using that one as an island. That's my opinion. And the fridge, I'm kind of ruling that out in my head. It's up to you. I can do anything. and let me know if the sink is even able to be moved over to the right or not. And I'll talk to you soon. Thanks.